My dearest viewer, in case you have forgotten, I am only one misplaced step away from having this channel deleted, so please subscribe to me on my alternative channel, as well as my channel on migtau.tv. Thank you very much, and back to our scheduled programming.
When you think about that, I mean, it's pretty grim. If parents just stayed home and stayed together, and we put more emphasis on making that happen and trying harder, I think maybe, yeah, society would be considerably more functional. I don't know about the liberty thing, but I think it would be more functional.
Yeah, I think that part of it comes from where I'm getting at with the liberty thing is I noticed that voting patterns in men and women are a little bit different. And that women tend to vote left because they tend to prioritize security over freedom. And men tend to vote right because they tend to value freedom over security, because men believe that if they had the freedom, like if the government was off their backs, they could probably build more and be better providers for their hopeful, wife and children. And because we're evolved to try to become earners and become providers to attract the best mates, well, the state kind of cuts that off at the knees, because there's no entity that can be a larger provider than the state itself, which is why the welfare programs are so big, right? So, and then women vote for more welfare, even if they themselves aren't necessarily benefiting. They see it and they're being told that this is what's best for women and children. So they're happy to pay into public education and healthcare and support for citizens, and in the form of welfare. And ironically, men actually end up paying more into the welfare system.
Men pay more taxes so that women can take more in benefits. And then women vote more so that men can pay more in taxes. It's this circular.
It's absolutely
ridiculous thing.
Yeah,
no
it
one
is.
Those gaps, by the way,
what was that?
Those gaps that get ignored, huh?
No, yeah, those gaps aren't important. Well, because again, if you point that out, they'll say, well, that's because men earn more because of sexism, which is why they pay more in taxes. So if we gave women equal pay, then they would be paying equal in taxes. But that's just like that gets really Cthulhu-ish, really quick. It's not ultimately a very constructive conversation. But I think that because men pay into the welfare system, women are more likely to vote for the welfare system. That's why you get this divide. But when a woman is in a stable family with a husband, she also begins to care a great deal about how much they pay in taxes, because she is a part of that conversation, right? So she actually, a lot of times in households, women manage the finances. Like they see where the money gets spent or whatever, especially if they're like stay-at-home moms or something. They end up doing that role. But even if they're themselves earners, if you have both parents and they're working, they're going to be very concerned with where their taxes go. So they're more likely to be on the, say, smaller government side, libertarian side. And I think that, honestly, you are saying, where did that come from? I think it's a combination of things. I think on the one hand, that we're all the products of public education. And the public education system in the States anyway. So I can't speak for other countries. Although the chat, you guys, if you're from other countries, maybe you can let me know what it is for you. But in the United States, public education's goal is to tell you the state is good and that you should be investing in it, and anything that comes out of it is good and also free stuff. And that's basically like the central mantra, though, because and when you go to college, it's funny because colleges get public funding, but they also put you in debt. And while they're putting you in debt, they're telling you that if the state could only pay for that as well, so basically the state is the only entity that can pay for things, and you shouldn't ask for it from yourself or individuals in your life, but only from the state. And I think that's where you get this rise in these kind of statist leanings from young people, because that's all they know. Plus, so many of them are born in homes without fathers, or at the very least out of wedlock. But I think that most of them don't have their fathers, and so they're going in with an already sort of missing sense of security that's not coming from where it probably should be coming from. And then on top of that, we say, I think we live in a time where there's so much comfort, where we're not like struggling to survive, and we have, internet, and we have cell phones and social media and all of this like leisure time, that more than we've ever had in history. I think that people are more likely to take things for granted, which is why I think the beer bug has, I think for a lot of people, it's altered their perspective on reality.
Oh yeah.
I think about, I was playing Fallout. I think this is in Fallout 3. There's Vault 68 and Vault 69.
Okay.
Do you know what those vaults are?
No, I don't remember.
I'll just give a quick bit of context for those who aren't familiar with the Fallout game series. It's nuclear annihilation wipes out civilization, and there are a bunch of vaults built by a company called Vault-Tec. It turns out many of them are actually experiments, but everyone hides in these shelters when the nukes go off. Vault 68 and Vault 69 were vaults where there was 99 men and 1 woman, or 99 women and 1 man. And so, I was thinking about what would really happen in a circumstance like that, and one thing is true. If you have a civilization, if you have a society, or like a tribe, and there's 100 men and 100 women, and 99 women die, you're likely going to collapse.
Yeah.
Because you can have, 1 kid in 9 months? It's over.
That we're a
Completely
limiting
over.
factor.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
However, if 99 men die, that one guy can have
He can make it happen.
99 100
Yes.
babies in 9 months and totally start repopulating civilization. And those women who don't have kids are capable of helping sustain and support and grow. So men are expendable.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is we developed gender norms, like the draft, based on the fact that the women must survive. Otherwise, your civilization is over. And yet, the Vikings would steal the women from, the British Isles or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the importance of women to a functioning civilization. However, today, everything's safe. We're in a bubble.
Yeah.
We got too many people
It's not
already.
The same world.
Yeah, man.
Though we are seeing population decline, which is kind of scary. But now, because there's no real fear of humans going extinct, feminism. Put them in combat, give them a gun, whatever, we don't care. We got more than enough people across the board. We're safe.
They wanted equality.
Well, now they get it. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. This thing pops up every few years, and they want women to, join. And I think the best point is that they can do any other job.
It's interesting that they'd be talking about this now with all this